Today's webinar is IDX for Beginners, a platform overview. I am Alec. I am the documentation specialist here at IDX Broker. So if you've gone to our knowledge base already, most of those are written by me. You can blame me if they are incorrect, and please let me know and I will change those out. I've also made a lot of videos that you can find at learn.idxbroker.com. I've been with the company about 3.5 years. So I'm fairly familiar with our software. Hopefully I can guide you through this fairly painlessly. Our webinar today is a beginner's webinar. So I like to think about it as, so you get a piece of furniture from IKEA and you're trying to fit all the pieces together. You know that at the end you want a bookshelf, but you have all these pieces, you don't know how to throw them together. You have instructions that may or may not make sense to you. I'm going to show you what those pieces are, where they fit in, how to connect them so that you get the finished product that you want, which is your real estate website that will get you some more leads, that will get your branding out there, and that ultimately you can sell more listing and close more houses. I am a scout leader, and one illustration that I think of is we were at a camping event earlier in the summer. We went down toward one of the lakes in Oregon, and we were setting up camp, and it was getting dark, and there were 4 scout leaders. Now, these are experienced scouters who have been camping many times, most of them like once a month. They do this on a regular basis. But it was getting dark, and they were setting up a tent that they were unfamiliar with. And so they had it mainly set up, but they needed the rain fly up, because in Oregon, you always need the rain fly. So there's 4 scouters out there, and they're working on the rain fly, and they're saying, hey, where does this zipper go? And this doesn't connect to anything. And I have some grommets over here. Does a rope attach to this? It's not fitting right. So it took about an hour before we finally realized that the piece that we're trying to put on the rain fly wasn't the rain fly at all, but was rather an extra room on this REI tent. So it was a 2-room tent that you could actually expand to another room. And so we were trying to fit this extra part of the tent onto the rain fly, and it didn't work so well. And I like to think of that as IDX Broker as well. Sometimes you're trying to get something done and you don't know the piece that you don't know, right? You want to get a neighborhood page, but you don't know how to get started. You want to get widgets on one of your blog posts to show some of your listings. You want maybe a carousel or a map on your homepage, and you just don't know where to get started. So I'm here to describe each of the pieces of IDX Broker, to show you how to walk through some of those so that you can get started, so that you know all your pieces, you can put them together in the right order, and you can really end up with a fully functional website with a quality IDX installed on it. So on today's agenda, I'm going to go over a basic dashboard overview, kind of show you where all the pieces are, where you can delve a little deeper into each of these. I'm going to show you how to create a widget. This is a little bit of IDX property information, or maybe a quick search that you can place anywhere on your website to give a little more information. Maybe you have a blog post about a specific region or neighborhood in your district, and you want some images and some property information on that blog post that's outside of the IDX pages. Well, you can do a widget for that. I'm going to show you how to create a neighborhood or community page. This is really helpful so that you can put this right on your homepage that says, homes in Santa Clara for $100,000 to $500,000. And then it's one less step that your web visitors have to take. It just makes it easier for them. It drives traffic, creates some unique content for search engines to grab up on. So I'll show you how to do a community page. And then we'll go a little deeper, and I will show you how to set up subheaders. These are particularly useful for one of those specific pages. If you have foreclosure page and you want a little bit of information about that for your potential buyers, or you have information about a neighborhood, about the schools in that area, or maybe the local attractions, or why someone would want to buy property in that area. Hopefully you all are a little familiar with this. This is the IDX dashboard, or what we also call middleware. And we call it because it's not really the backend stuff that our designers have, that our developers have, but it's where you can change things for your front end, for your visitors. This is where you control all of that middle type stuff, not the heavy development, but that middle stuff that ends up showing up on your front website. So our navigation here is fairly self-explanatory. We have the home button, which is, you can move these around. So, I can see how many emails I sent out, which this is a demo account, so I don't send a whole lot of emails from there. So I can even change that. I might move my traffic stats up a little bit. Here's my leads. You can add extra things so that when you log in, you instantly know what's going on with your site. We also have your account information. So your account information, you can check Message Center, which is all of the emails sent out on your behalf from IDX Broker. So when a lead signs up, they get an email. This goes here. When they get a property update, this goes here. Everything like that. There's account notes that we might put in if something changes with your MLS. Contacts are your contacts, internal contacts. Billing is where you're going to change out your credit card information. You can always upgrade here. This is just basic information about your account. And then, of course, you can change your password. Preferences, where you will change some of the basic defaults on your account. And we have a lot of information about this on our knowledge base and on our tutorial site. So those are support.idxbroker.com and learn.idxbroker.com. There's a lot more in-depth information about each and every one of these. So designs is where you're going to create some content. So we're going to start here, and we're going to start by creating a widget. Now the beginning or middle part of creating a widget in a saved link is very similar. So we're going to do this a couple times, but it'll give you a little bit extra time to learn some of the basics of setting up the search criteria. So I'm going to make a brand new widget. You can always go back and manage these widgets if you want to maybe change the price range on it or tweak it a little bit, or it's not really working as you want. You can go ahead and manage those once they're done, but I'm going to create a brand new one. And then this is just kind of a step-by-step walkthrough of what you're going to do. So let's select type of widget. You can do carousels, you can do search widgets, so you can place a quick search on your front page so that people can get right into the search. You can do a showcase, and a showcase is like a grid of properties, and you can decide how many is in that grid, and it just shows a picture of the property and then a little bit of property information that the visitor can click through to find out more details about that. Then a slideshow is a single property at a time that just kind of rotates to the next property and the next property and the next property. It takes up less space and it just shows one property at a time. So today I'm going to go ahead and create a carousel widget. Carousel's nice. It is just a horizontal bar of several properties. You can have between 3 and 5 at a time, and then you can scroll, or your visitor rather, can scroll to the next group of properties. So, properties to feature. I'm going to do custom search simply because that gives me the most options. Now here you can do featured properties, which is only going to be the properties for which you are the listing agent, and those might be the properties you want to feature on your homepage because you want to drive traffic to your properties. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a custom search on this one. And I'm going to choose the advanced search page because it gives me the most fields to choose from. So this is the page that is going to be common between all of your searches, whether you're making a widget or a saved link or community page. This is also similar to what your visitors see on the front end when they go to a search page on IDX. Here we can do some basic options up top. Change the property type. Residential is probably pretty good. I'm going to change the maximum price. My defaults are 300 to 500,000. Each account ships with defaults of minimum price of 200,000 and maximum price of 800,000. Now you can change the defaults in the Preferences area in IDX Broker dashboard, or you can clear these out and have no minimum or maximum, or go ahead and type in. I'm going to do no minimum and a maximum of 400,000. So I type in my 400,000, I select it. I'm not going to worry about beds or baths at this point or acreages. I'm going to go down. Under here are the advanced fields. These you can also change on each of these pages. So maybe you don't want subdivision, or schools aren't really important to you, but you really do want if fireplace is there. So depending on your MLS, these fields may be different, and you can select which fields are most important to the visitors that are coming to your website. There we go. So now I've selected my search criteria. It pulls in some results. Now I go down to the options on the widget itself. So here you can choose whether or not your widget is responsive. I'm going to keep it yes because I have a responsive website and I want my widget to take up 100% of that width, which is right here. I think that I'm going to choose 4 columns, so it'll show 4 properties at a time. And then I'm going to leave the open widget links in a new window as no. And I am going to turn on display view all results link. So at the bottom of this widget, it'll say view all results and it'll open in a new window. Okay, I need to name my widget, max 500. Okay, you can name this widget whatever you want. It's just so that you can find it. Then at the bottom of this page, you will save that widget. So now you should see all your widgets that you created back in the widgets managed section. And we can pull up one of these carousels. I'm going to preview that. I see my properties. So this one has 3 at a time. And then I can click through. Now this widget at the bottom gives you a script that you can copy and paste into any page on your website. And then it will display what is shown above here. If you have WordPress and you have the Impress for IDX Broker plugin installed, it's much easier. You can just add a widget like you would any other widget within WordPress, and just add that IDX, and you can choose the widgets available right within there. And there is documentation and a video walkthrough of that on either support.idxbroker.com or learn.idxbroker.com. Check those out for widgets or for WordPress. And there's some WordPress specific things there. But on any other site that accepts JavaScript, you can just copy this script, paste it as HTML code, and you'll have this widget going on there. So the next thing is a community page, or what we call a saved link. Now this is confusing because we will always call it a saved link or saved search or something like that. But if you want a page on your website, here I have communities pages on my website. And then as a drop down from here, you could have a city page, Boca Raton, or you could have foreclosure homes available, or horse properties is a popular one in some areas. And you can have those spelled out here, and those will link to a special page that you've set the criteria on that makes it easier for your visitors just to click and search through all of those instead of trying to decide what they're really looking for, which is what they're going to get on a more complete search page. That we're still in designs. I'm going to go saved links and create a new one. Here we have all of these options. If you have Platinum, you will have this polygon search, which is really nice if you want to find the area of a search that's outside maybe your standard subdivision areas, or maybe the subdivision areas don't fit all of the properties, or you just want maybe around a specific location like a golf course or something. You can set a polygon search and define geographic limits of what properties will show up. Here I'm going to go ahead and do a basic search, which doesn't give me all the options of advanced, but it's really simple. So it just gives me these upper options. I'm going to choose, let's do Anaheim. I have a friend that's looking to move to Anaheim, and so she's looking for some property there. So I'm going to choose Anaheim, and I'm going to do max price 600. And let's do at least 1 bedroom. She's looking for more than a studio. Okay. So before I go ahead and build out my saved link, I'm going to view results in new window. There we go. I get all sorts of results. I get 306 results. So that's plenty. Gives me a map up here. I can see. Oh, I used to live right around here when I was in college. So it kind of gives me an idea of what people will find when they click that link. So I'm going to close this out. That looks good to me. I'm going to do next step. Now here's where you give all the extra information to a search engine, or also where you create your link to place on your website. So this is Anaheim. It's going to be my title. So as I build out that page title, it automatically creates that link for me. Now I can make it different if I want, but I think that's a good link. I can add my meta tags here. So I can add Disney homes in Orange County, sunshine, etc. So my meta tags, and then this is going to be my keywords. Then my meta tags is, okay. I'm not going to make a custom link showcase at this point, but I've set this stuff up. Now we can actually create a subheader. So this is content that goes right above the listings. So this is more descriptive, that's shown to your visitor. And you can even put images, or you can even add links and videos on here to really show off, to be a little more visual, to attract people's eyes, to keep them on the site looking at those properties. So, and then I can add an external image if I want here. With images, always make sure that you have the rights to it. You know, you don't want anything copyrighted that people could complain about and then ultimately take down your site. So always pull royalty-free images if you have a stock library, or if you're in the area, grab your phone or grab your camera, take your own pictures. You can put them on here. These aren't necessarily images of the houses that you're selling, but maybe it's an overview of the city, or you have great images of some local parks nearby or something like that. So you can put those images here. Make sure they have a description, both for those people who have difficulty seeing, where they can still understand what's going on, but also because Google, Bing, Yahoo, they can't see things yet. They can only read. So they can get an image description of what that's about by reading this instead of looking at the picture. I've created that. I can even assign this to an agent if I have an office account. So maybe Isabel works the Anaheim area, and Todd really works LA proper. So I can assign this so that every time somebody comes to this link and is interested in a property, that lead gets assigned to Isabel in this case. So it looks good. I'm going to save and manage my links. And then you'll see right here at the top, these are in alphabetical order at the time, but I have my Anaheim link. I can actually take this, I can preview this link. That looks good. Oh, Isabel herself has her own subheader, which also goes here. So I have the subheader for the link itself, which is right here. And then because it's assigned to Isabel, she also has a subheader with an image that I had set up previously in a different tutorial. But now I can take this link, I can copy it, and I can paste it in my navigation, maybe under my communities link. And so this will drop down and I can paste Anaheim, and then somebody coming to my site, like my friend who's planning on moving there, can say, oh yeah, I'm looking for property in Anaheim. Click on that link. They don't have to mess with searches. They can just go through here and say, oh, Carousel Street, that looks like an interesting place. Click here, find out more information about this property. there we have some widgets, which are pocket-sized information that you can place anywhere on your website or blog. Saved links, which are links that you can place in your navigation to direct people to. Or saved links are also great if you're doing advertising and you want to send them specifically to a page, not your home page, but a targeted page. And then when I went over creating some subheaders, you can create them for any type of pages. You can create subheaders for your saved links like we did here. You can create them for your search pages. And you can create them for even your agents, should you choose that. Do we have any questions quickly? We are about at our 30-minute mark, but I might be able to answer a question or two. If you are using WordPress, thanks for that question. Sorry I didn't get to it earlier, Kathleen. If you have WordPress, you don't have to use the Impress plugin. You can indeed just copy that widget JavaScript into it. You'll definitely have to go into text mode when you're editing that page or that post. But yeah, you can use that JavaScript. That should work just fine. Thank you all for joining us. Go to idxbroker.com to see some future webinars that we have. We will continue to have the beginner webinars probably once a quarter, and then we will have some more targeted and specific webinars about WordPress. There's one coming up on that, and some targeted SEO and SEM, which is search engine optimization and search engine marketing webinars. So idxbroker.com/IDX_webinar. And if you're really in over your head and you need some extra help, you're welcome to go to bit.ly/findyourdev. There's dev partners that build out entire IDX websites with our product included. And please, if you have additional questions, you can always email us at help@idxbroker.com. Have a great rest of your day, all.